I don't think so. We were pretty comfortable. We've all done this a real lot. We've played in all kinds of situations, made dozens of records, done thousands of shows, literally. So yeah, it's always a challenge when you sit down to a blank sheet of paper and you got to write something. But if you've done it enough, you know that eventually it will come. You eventually will figure something out. And if one of us dries up, the other guy will pick up the slack, and vice versa. So we've done it a lot, so we're never really nervous about it. We're excited about it, and I know when we start getting some stuff that really we start digging, like we're in the studio and come up with a couple of things, and I dig that, great, that's cool. How about this? And it's an exciting thing. But I think we're all past that point where we would be apprehensive in any way.
I think a big difference is. When people talk about the sophomore slump, everybody says that. I think that applies to new young bands where it's their first time out. Because the big joke is, a band's got their entire career to write their first album and then a couple months to write their second album. But in our case, we only had a couple months to write the first album as well. It wasn't like we were toiling in the basement of our parents' houses for 5 years before we got our record deal. So, to us, the second album, we made it the same way we made the first album. Wasn't any kind of difference, but the sophomore slump thing kind of doesn't really apply to the way we work.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened in the studio. I mean, sometimes when I get out of bed in the morning, getting ready for the day, that kind of happens when I'm, wash my face, brush my teeth, and I just happen to catch myself in the mirror, It's like, I get it now, finally. You know what I mean? But not so much with music, It's the music thing. It's like, it's so, so much of the music thing you kind of do, you're expressing yourself, and you don't really look at it the same way.
I have the opposite. You're wondering if any of us look around and say, "My God, we are awesome." No, I look around like I'm trying to track in the studio. I'm like, "My God, I suck. Why can't I get this?"
I'm same way. Anything I've ever accomplished is conquered territory, and all I have to look forward to is trying to figure it out and trying to get stuff done and trying to play it right and trying to figure out the stuff I don't know. So I'm always in a state of I think I suck.
I have to interject something because this is going to sound. I mean, obviously I've made a joke, but the reality is for real for me this process when I am finished with the process, I'll listen to the song. And if I listen to it 10 times in a row and I'm blown away and I'm like, this is f***ing amazing. This is f***ing exactly what I hear in my head. It's coming out of the speakers. That's my variable. That's how I know I'm done, And so in a weird way, that happens for me, not in like an ego way, but in like that's exactly what I envision in my head. I f***ing love it. And I know I'm done. There's no more overdubs. There's no more tweaking. There's nothing. It's just done. It's great. And so you can feel that as a writer, you can feel when it really works, and you're just like, fuck yeah, that's great, And so that happens, or even in the studio, he might do a drum fill, and it's like, man, that was it, that was perfect, and that happens, definitely happens. It's not like an ego thing; it's just like an excitement thing of like, okay, we really nailed, what we were kind of going for, kind of thing.